For Phil, come on, put them together. Phil and Dave.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Louisville. Greetings. My name is Phil Van T. Yes, I sure am tall. Come from a little bitty family, though. Got one brother. Stanley is his name. He's not real bright. No offense. I don't doubt but what you do the name proud, but my brother doesn't. He's a little dull. Dad named him Stanley after a hammer. Of course, Dad wasn't real bright either. It was a Black & Decker hammer. Dad's favorite sport was moose hunting. He tramped through the great north woods for 8 long years, never got one. He'd come home, Grandpa would tease him mercilessly. Did you get one? No, I never even saw one, Pa. That's because you're hunting the smart moose. Trick is to go after the dumb ones. What do you mean, Pa? Well, you take your rifle out in the woods and you listen for this noise. And he just yell, "Hey, moose." Yeah? Of course, you don't want to mount that head on your wall. Is it? Did you shoot that, man? No, I hit it with a car. Dad took Stanley hunting with him. They came back with a snake. Stanley made a belt out of it, but it kept crawling out of his belt loops. Poor Stanley. As a kid, he tried raising wasps for the honey. You could hear him in the backyard working on his project. Ow, 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 ow. Apparently he tried to milk one of them or something. We had a pet shop near where we lived, and they sold snapping turtles about that big. Stanley tried to shoplift one of them. He opened up his shirt and stuck the turtle right in there. Oh, yeah. He used to have one of those belly buttons that stuck out. Oh, 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 oh. They let him keep the turtle. They say the average human uses about 10% of his brain. I think Stanley puts a couple zeros and a decimal point in front of that. Grandpa was kind of hoping, he said, maybe the kid just has a good sense of humor. Grandpa does. Van T is a Dutch name. Grandpa came here from the country of Holland, of course. He used to build windmills over there, but he never sold a whole lot of them because he always put the front door where you had to walk through the big fan to get in, and that didn't work out very well. Trying to use your key was dangerous enough. And if you're dumb enough to try to pick up the key. Oh, ow, 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 ditto, ditto, ow, 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 ow. Grandpa says if you're good at miniature golf, you'll get into that house. By the way, if you haven't already noticed, this ow, 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 ow thing will be a running theme in my act. Watch for it. Grandpa did have a good sense of humor. Teased Grandma. She'd go to bed at night, put her dentures in a glass of water. Grandpa put them in the freezer. He called that a smile sickle. Meanest trick he ever pulled on Grandma. He got himself a new car with passive restraint seat belts. This is where you sit down in the car seat, close your door, the seat belt puts itself on you. Grandma had never seen one. He took her out for a test drive late at night, put her in her seat, closed her door, and then he said, "Snake!" He called that a cardiovascular experiment. We called him a sick bastard. I failed to inherit my grandpa's penchant for obvious buffoonery, if you will. I just say sarcastic things under my breath like my hero W.C. Fields. I was at the bank a couple weeks ago and the teller said, "Would you endorse these checks?" So I held them up to the security camera and said, "These are fine checks and I'd use them anywhere." She didn't get it. I started out as a class clown. I think most comics did. I had my best one maybe in 7th grade English class. Our teacher told us that over in Britain they call the police department the local constabulary. She said, "Philip, rise and use constabulary in a sentence." Okay. Mo said, "I constabulary," and Curly can't do anything about it. She didn't get it. I was a good student in school, but I got held back in the 3rd grade. My class had hepatitis. Health department called it a disaster. I called it a successful science fair project. Biology class, I was in charge of the livestock. We had a chameleon. He died of exhaustion. I lined his tank with Sherwin-Williams color brochures. I thought he'd like a colorful environment. He was a busy, busy lizard. My uncle encouraged me, Uncle Van T. I used to fight with my aunt all the time, like the Bickersons. "Buy me a diamond ring, buy me a diamond ring." "A diamond ring on your hand? That'd be like putting whipped cream on an onion, wouldn't it? Get away from me, woman." She got even with him. She sprayed the inside of his motorcycle helmet with Nair. It was the meanest thing you could have done to my uncle because he fancied himself a biker, but he's only about that big, weighs about 100 pounds. He was messing with his neighbor's big, powerful Harley Davidson one time, tried to kickstart it, spent the next 3 hours on top of a tree. Boing. He could get it going, but he was never on it when it took off. I can't pick on him because I'm worse. I got this height going for me. I got a high center of gravity, bad eyesight. I'm no good on a motorcycle. I'm all over the road if I get on one, kind of like Goofy from Walt Disney. I can mount it and rev it up and take off, but when I do, whoever was standing there is going to hear, "Whoa!" I had a chance to prove my motorcycle skills down in the Cayman Islands, a little British-held island where they had some comedy going, and I was lucky enough to go down there. But I didn't want to rent a car because everybody drives on the wrong side of the road, it being British-held. And their standard shift rental cars, and all the steering wheels are on the wrong side, so this adds up to a very confusing shift thing. I went in to look at the little mopeds that most everybody rides down there. They're little Barbie doll death bikes is what they amount to be here. Little bitty things. Goggles are standard equipment. You got bugs down there running into you. They got huge bugs. I don't like a bug that can hit your windshield at 70 miles an hour and then fall back in the hood and just laugh. Okay, let that kickstand down. I'm ready to go, boy. It's pitiful. A friend of mine has a BMW motorcycle. He's always bragging. He says, "You ought to get one of these. BMW motorcycle is the most expensive motorcycle in the world." I says, "I can't afford one." He says, "Not to worry. You go over to Germany. You can get a $12,000 BMW for $11,000. Well, that's handy. Probably only cost me about $1,000 to fly over there. But if I swim back... Can't afford a motorcycle because I have a wife. I'm not complaining. I love her very much. I buy her whatever she wants. She has a coat for every season, spring, summer, winter, fall, and those 9 other seasons only women know about. She's got a lot of clothes, boy. She's got a big walk-in closet, and we got so many clothes in there. All hers. We have a titanium clothes rod, and it's going... I got a little space in the big walk-in closet, about that much. Got 3 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, sport coat, and a tie. Hung my stuff up first. That was a mistake, because then she put all her stuff in and compacted mine against the edge. I got one garment now. It's a grotesque-looking vest with a tongue and legs or something like that. Paisley tongue. She's got shoes, more shoes than clothes, if that's possible, piled up in that closet to where it's like sedimentary layers of footwear down there. You could do an archaeological shoe dig here. History of feet. You got your fur-bearing shoes on the top, scrape down level, there's the reptilian shoes. Scrape down level, there's the single-celled sandal creatures. And scrape down, there's shoe fossils on the floor there. Underneath the house, you got shoe petroleum products being formed. It's pitiful, but I love her. I wear this symbol of our affection. Looks like a plain silver wedding band, doesn't it? Nope, she says that'd be too easy to take off when I go on the road. This here is a mercury-filled tattoo. She applied it herself. Sit still. Ow, 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 ow. It's handy, though. It's 78 degrees in here right now. A little temperature humor. My wife recently applied for her bajillionth credit card, a Sears card. When she applied, they gave her a free, genuine diamond necklace. The diamond's about 1/16 of a millicarat. Pretty close to a single carbon atom. She put the necklace over her head and the stone was absorbed into one of her pores. Now she has a gold chain hanging out of her chest right here. She can make it do some neat stuff. Shake it up, Mrs. Van D. That's us having fun. I got to break in the Sears card. I went to the Sears Department of Fine Optometry, sarcasm intended. Got these glasses at Sears. Took me about a half hour to scratch the word craftsman off the lenses. Part of the eye exam, I had my pupils dilated. It's a real joy. It's where they put drops in your eyes, makes the black part of your eye swell up about the size of a dinner plate. Correct me if I'm wrong now, ma'am. You've obviously had this done before. This increases your light sensitivity about 1,000-fold. But he does it in the dark comfort of the doctor's office, which fools you for a moment. Then he immediately leads you out into the brightly lit waiting room for half an hour. Ow, 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 ow. He says, while you're out there, why don't you pick out your frames? Sorry, ma'am. I think I found a pair here. I put them on. What do you think? Those are for little girls. Oh. I got on the pink cat-eye-shaped ones. This dilation effect, this incredible sensitivity to light lasts about 6 hours. I had my test done at 6 p.m., 9 o'clock at night. I was outside. I looked up, and I could see where they left the flag on the moon. I turned around and busted my nose on a tree. Ain't technology grand? I had to wear glasses since I was in first grade. I hung out with all the other kids in my block that wore glasses. We had a club, a myopia club. Our password was, "Who is that?" Give the club sign. Okay. I had the dubious honor of being the leader, which meant, of course, I had the worst eyesight. The other kids could take their glasses off and try to burn ants on the sidewalk. Me, I could torch a whole poodle if I wanted to. Nifty. Sorry, little old lady. What have you done to Pierre? Changed his name to Cinder, looks like. That was just a joke for the sensitive people in the crowd. I like animals, and please don't think I don't. I don't particularly care for poodles, that's why I used one in that joke. My mom hates any joke about hurting the little animals or people in general. My mom, she comes to see my show. She might sit right where you are, ma'am. At the end of the show, I'll say, "What do you think, Mom?" She says, "Well, that's all right if that's what you want to do." She has a sense of humor, I hope, but I'm not sure, never have been, still am not. She is either so far beyond my sense of humor, or she's just naive and goofy. I don't know which. I can talk forever, but you won't understand unless I give you an example. Remember that song that they sang on the Little Rascals? Alfalfa sang, "I am in the mood for love, simply because you're near me. Funny, but when you're near me." Well, my mom thought that the singer was calling the person he was singing to funny butt. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood. You tell me, I don't know what that means. And the other example, our family was driving to Chicago one time from Cleveland. We're getting on the turnpike in Ohio, and at the turnpike stop there's a guy hitchhiking, and he's got a sign, and all it says is capital I-L-L, period. My mom looks over and says, "What a ridiculous excuse to try to get a ride." So I don't know what to I love her, you gotta love your mom, but she gave me my first ever friend, my first ever pet, little turtle. Any turtle people out there? Say they have a hard time clapping, turtle people do. Turtle people, get it? I know, pitiful, yeah. Somebody clap. What kind of turtle do you have? Ninja. Very original. Thank you very much. Is that right off the top of your head? Ooh. That was a corker, boy. A ninja. Waiting the whole show to yell something out and you messed it up. That's all right. That's all right. Did you hear me? That was me. I said ninja. Oh, man. All right. Okay. Actually, I can't see the people back there anyway. I would ask, did you ever have a turtle, or did you just like to have fun like that? I mean, I didn't take offense. You never have a turtle? You did, really? Was it the little tiny ones, or like a box turtle? What did you have? Box turtle, did it have a name? And it was a name? I don't want to know. Wait a minute, let me review my last question. That was his name. All right, all right. Well, I can tell you don't want to mess with me because I'm intimidating. I can see you leaving the club tonight saying, "He was relentless." All right, that's all right. It's my job to tell the jokes anyway, I guess. I had 3 little tiny ones. I didn't have the box turtle like you're talking about. We had the little bitty ones, which you can't even get anymore. I had 3 little painted turtles. I read in a book where the painted turtle is the fastest turtle in the world. And I believe this because I had them in a race, all 3 of them, at a tennis court. Clocked the winner at 47 miles an hour. The other 2 got stuck in my racket, so I'll never know what they could have done. Just another joke. Maybe. An aluminium racket, yes. Tunk, tunk. Not as hard on the little turtles' butts that way. I found out that you can't get these little turtles anymore when I went to a pet shop in Cleveland, Ohio, and they were real snooty about it. I said I wanted to buy a little one, and they said, "We don't sell those anymore. We haven't for years. Where have you been?" Obviously not here. They said, we only sell one turtle anymore. It's a very rare breed. I doubt you could afford it. I said, well, what the hell is it? He said, a Vietnamese wood turtle. They wanted $400 for it. I think not. A friend of mine says, not to worry, you go over to Indonesia, you can get a $400 wood turtle for $300. Same guy, yeah. Do any of you guys, do you know why they outlawed these little turtles, the little bitty ones? You hit it almost on the head when you said taste. I know you're being funny, but little kids... Well, we shouldn't laugh. We should feel sorry that his diet included amphibians. Your Homeland African pendant isn't like made out of tortoise shell, is it? Kind of like wearing a tuna can lid in this country. But you'd be surprised how close you were as to why they outlawed the turtles, because little kids were taking these little tiny turtles and putting them in their mouths for what utility I know not, and contracting terrible diseases like salmonella and stuff. Yeah, well, it's not a real happy subject for a comedy club, but it was just a news report. I didn't intend that to get a laugh. And you reacted appropriately. But don't bum out. I don't want you to think I went to schoolyards and passed the turtles out or anything. Although I think it's a very funny idea. Psst, hey, kid, come here. I ain't allowed to talk to strangers. You don't have to talk to me. Just put this in your mouth. What'll you give me? Salmonella. Oh, neat. I never had that before. What on earth would possess a kid to put a turtle in his mouth? $1 maybe, I don't know. But I was a dumb kid, but I knew a green Oreo when I saw it. Say, Morty, this one's spoiled. Watch it run back into the package. Cookies that put themselves away. Wow. I'm not actively searching for pets anymore. We now have a pet in our house we never invited. We now have a mouse in our house. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss problem, doesn't it? Have you recently had to deal with this problem? Then you may enjoy my solution. My wife's solution, pardon me. Gotta give credit where credit is due. My wife, and this is the gospel truth, nobody ever believes me, but my wife sucked the mouse up in the canister vacuum cleaner. I swear to God it works. Quick story, we had the mouse trapped in our bathroom, and I use the word trapped real loosely because we were all three in there, basically, is what it amounts to. I didn't want to let on to my wife that I thought the mouse was in control the whole time, but neither one of us wanted to pick him up, you know, not being experienced with wild mice. And besides, he was about that big. I don't have to exaggerate to impress people in Louisville. He was at least that big. And when you corner a mouse in a little space like that bathroom, he'll rear up on his hind legs, effectively doubling his height. Now laugh at my plight. So I put my wife in front of me, because I'm taller and we can both see better that way. Yeah, she got mad. She caught on. Poked me in the ribs. She says, pick him up, pick him up. I'm like, he used the plunger. That didn't work. He liked that. Do me again, do me again. It's about that time I noticed the little tattoo on his arm. Biker mouse or something. It said, eat cheese. And my wife really got to be mad after a while. She says, be a man and pick him up. I said, be a wife and do it for me. She hated that. So she's steaming. She says, I have an idea. I says, great. She says, you stay here with the mouse. Good idea. She says, I'll be right back. She takes off. The mouse is still going. You just wait till my wife gets back. She comes back a couple seconds later, thankfully, dragging the Eureka. I says, what are you going to do? She says, shut up and watch. Kicks it on. It's basically the end of the story. Except it did not hurt the mouse. It didn't. You could turn off the vacuum cleaner. You could actually hear, if you're real quiet, you could hear the mouse running around in the bag. I swear it was a... He had lint lung or something. I don't know. So my wife, being a smart cookie, she clamped her hand over the end of the hose, took the whole unit outside, laid the hose on the ground, took her hand away. Nothing for a couple seconds. And all of a sudden, that mouse took off like a shot. Straight back into the house. We never saw him again, though. I never saw him leave either, for that matter. He's either marshaling more troops, or my theory is he's still scared. I think he's still in the wall, sitting at the little mouse bar and grill, trying to get somebody to believe his story. I'm not kidding, Ed. I was abducted by a UFO.